All right, let's go ahead and get started. For those of you who are on your first district webinar, um, I am going to bring over if you've got a link on your computer, you would have something like this here. And if you have questions, I've got everybody's mic muted, but if you do have specific questions, please feel free to type those in and I will try to get to those as best I can. Today's webinar, and I would like to just say that we are taping this or recording this webinar so that we can post it on YouTube to watch at a later time. The idea today will be to go through the ideal goal form and the way that that works. We rolled out a new ideal goal form in August, and we pushed it out to desktops, and we got everything moving. And now as we have gotten into second semester, we've had more questions about how it works and people having problems with it. So I believe this should only take about 10 minutes or so, 5 to 10 minutes. But I want to go through with everybody the idea behind this and the idea on how this works and give everybody a chance to ask any questions that they might be having. So hopefully everybody can see my screen here. And you'll notice that we're on the Papillion La Vista District webpage, and the ideal goal form is actually kept in curriculum. And if you go to curriculum in SIP information, there's one for each building. So I'll just choose Anderson Grove here, and as you get in here, there's an ideal action plan, and all the information you need is in here. The form itself is this ideal classroom action template. Which you can download. Now, I know a lot of you, probably your principal sent it out to you, or there were a number of ways that you could get this, but if you ever need one or you need a copy of it, you can download it from right here. I have downloaded a copy right here to my desktop that I'm keeping. So I'll just keep this right here on my desktop. We'll work from it today. I would recommend that you put it in your My Documents folder because then we're getting a backup of it just in case you have any issues. But for right now, I've got it on my desktop. I do want to interject one thing here. If you are on a Mac, the process itself is very similar. It works the same way, but there is some manual things we have to do. So this webinar would be good to watch to understand the process. But if you're having specific problems with your Mac, you might want to put in a ticket for a technician to come out to look at it and see what we can help with. The idea behind the goal form here, and I'm just going to go ahead and open this one. So when I open it, I'm given a question, and it says this document contains links that may refer to other files. Do you want to update this document? One of the first problems we've had is that people say no to this question. You definitely want to say yes, and I'm going to talk to you about why you want to say yes here in just a second. So you'll notice that the goal form itself is very similar to what we've done in the past. There are narratives in here that you can fill out, and it's very easy from that standpoint. Where it gets tricky is down here at the bottom. We have an embedded Excel sheet that sits here, and that has caused a majority of the problems we've seen this year. The way that this works is this Excel sheet isn't actually part of the Word document. It's embedded in from a separate source. And so I'm going to show you what that looks like. Everybody on their desktop should have a computer icon here. And if you click on that, you'll see a C drive, and inside that C drive you're going to find a file that's called data.xlsx. Every staff member in the district has one of these files that we had to push out to their local computer when you first logged in last August. And you'll notice that if I open this data, it is very similar. In fact, it looks the exact same as the sheet that was in that Word document. And that's because that Word document is pulling. And so inside that Word document then, that sheet is embedded. And what's caused a number of problems, if I bring this back up, what's caused a number of problems for people is that the sheet itself, the data is being stored somewhere else. So you can't just take a picture or have somebody else do the data, because when you copy and paste that new sheet or the new data in here, what happens is it still is trying to pull from your old location, so it doesn't update properly. The best way to do this is to have this sheet right here, and then just double click on this and it'll open up in Excel and you can change your data at that point. So that's the number one problem we've had with this, is that people are trying to get their data from an outside source and then embed it in by copying and pasting it, and that doesn't work. The other piece of this that I want to assure everybody about is we do take this document, so the one that sits on your C drive, this data.xlsx, we copy that up to the server in the ideal goal backup form every time you log off. So once you log off, we copy that data file. So even if your computer does crash, we do have a backup of that information that we can recover very easily. So that has been probably the number one problem that we've had with this. The number two problem is, how do I send this to my principal? Here is the problem. If I just take the document itself and I email it to my principal, it's going to pull the data from her local or his local computer. So all the data for every staff member is going to look different, or is going to look the exact same, which is not what we want. And I found that some buildings have been getting around this by they have found the data form, and so they send two documents to the principal. They send the ideal goal form and they also send the data form. Well, there's an easier way to do this. And so what we're recommending from here is, if you go up here to File, so I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to go up to File, and I'm going to say Share. I can actually email this document as a PDF, and it'll embed the whole document together into a single location. So if I do that, a new email will pop up here, and it's got the attached PDF with everything embedded, and I could just rename the subject line Pulte Classroom Goal Quarter 3. So my principal would get this, I can send it to them, and they could file away in an email, but it's all embedded in one location. The data is embedded with the narrative itself. And you can keep working on it as a classroom teacher. You can keep working on it the way you've always worked on it. So that's the basic process for how the ideal goal forms work. It's also kind of an overview of the two biggest questions we've gotten with this. So at this point, I'd just like to open it up and see if there are specific questions people would like to ask, and we can definitely go through those. Well, that's a good sign if we don't get any questions. Hopefully this was informative for everybody, and we will be putting this up on YouTube so that people can go back and watch it, or if you have other staff members in your building who you think would benefit from this, we will absolutely have it up there. My goal is to have it up before the afternoon. I know people have some time this afternoon, maybe while they're working in their classroom, that they might want to take a few minutes to watch this. So if you do have specific questions at any time, feel free to email the help desk or let us know, and we'll definitely do what we can to help you. I want to thank everybody for sticking around here this morning, and hopefully it was informative. And like I said, if you need anything, let us know. Thank you.